Good morning. I'm Anne-Marie Sebastian, and I'm here to present the paper on the topic Effectiveness of Digi Libraries in Boosting the Knowledge Among Youth. My co-authors are Anne Martin, Lishna Shaji, and we are MCOM scholars from Postgraduate Department of Commerce and Research Center, St. Edmund's College, Ernakulam. Moving on to the introduction. Libraries are the entrance to the world of knowledge, information, and entertainment. Libraries consist of many books in different languages dealing about different disciples, skills, culture, and tradition. The libraries are a physical place of existence which has to be properly maintained, kept, and preserved. And almost every place in India and abroad have libraries in their hometown, and even some homes do keep a good collection of books as per the requirement. The advancement in the field of technology and informatics gave a scope to shape the conventional structure of traditional libraries to digital libraries. Digitalization of library paved the way for convenient knowledge source. Widespread use of information and communication technology made Digi Library a reality. This revolution eliminated the boundary, time, and volume barriers. Digi libraries are more user friendly and the users have 24/7 access round the calendar. The researchers, scholars, academicians, and students are the major category of people who access these facilities for academic and research purposes. Also, there are some general public who access digital libraries for entertainment and some informational purposes. Through this study, we focus to learn about the effectiveness level of the digital libraries in boosting the knowledge among youth, as well as to analyze their preferential mode of libraries. Next, moving on to the statement of the problem. Digital library stores printed documents, images, and audios online which can be accessed from anywhere without any restrictions. There are large number of institutions still involved in the process of setting up digital libraries. Research and development activities are being carried out in this field all over the world. In the present scenario, most of the education institutions have their own digital libraries or the university maintains the same. Being the beneficiary of digital libraries, students can access books of various disciplines. It can be for information, entertainment, or for educational requirements. So, this study focuses on the awareness of youngsters towards digital library and its effectiveness in boosting their knowledge. We have two objectives to study which mode of library is preferred by the youngsters. Second, to analyze the effectiveness of digital libraries in boosting the knowledge among youth. Moving to the limitations of the study, time constraint, limited the study to get into more depths. Also, there are chances that the respondents bias, might have given biased data. The connectivity problems also affected the smooth submission of data for some. Methodology. We had primary data which was collected from the various respondents who belong to the youth category with the help of mailed questionnaire, and had secondary data which was collected from appropriate and authenticated e-journals and websites. We had the sample size, and the sample data was collected from about 100 youngsters by convenient sampling method from India and abroad. Tools used for analyzing the data collected. The tools like percentage diagrams were made use in order to analyze the so collected data with the help of mailed questionnaires. Moving on to the part of data analysis. First, we studied the awareness level of youngsters about digital libraries, and we prepared a hypothesis that there is no association between the nationality of the respondents and awareness level. Using the chi-square method, we found that there is no we found that there is no association between the nationality of the respondents and the awareness level. Next, preference of mode of library structure among youth. And from the above table, we found out that we inferred that among the 88 respondents who were aware about the digital libraries, physical structure of library was opted by only 18 and 10 youngsters from India and abroad respectively. and Digi Library was opted by 40 and 20 from India and abroad, respectively. So it is clear that major portion of people opted digital libraries over traditional structures. In addition, the pandemic might have also influenced people to go online. Next, reason for using digi libraries. Both the library structures have its own advantages and disadvantages. People tend to prefer digi libraries over traditional library structure. As a reasons, 36.6% respondents have mentioned that digital library can be easily accessed and 29.5 said it as convenient source for them to search for information. According to 15.9% of the youngsters, it says paper and environment friendly, while 9.09% responded that digital libraries gave more choices investigated for them, and the rest 6.8% it was economical mode. And moving on to the facilities of digital libraries used, from the above data, we see that 31.8% of the respondents use e-journals at the most and internet at the most, and internet searching is the second most used, that is 29.5%. And 27.3% respondents says that they use ebooks. Only 3.8% use e-newspaper facility, while 4.5% use other facilities of Digi Library like podcasts, related applications, and softwares. And in the coming days, we hope that many more facilities would be added to the Digi Library facility we would accessing with ease by all. Next, frequency and average time spent in using Digi Libraries. We have two tables, and from the above tables we see that at least once all the respondents have used digi libraries. 20.5% respondents use digi libraries daily and 29.5% use it weekly, while 11.4% use it monthly, and 38.6% use it occasionally as and when they require. In addition, 61.4% of the respondents use it for less than 4 hours in a week. 27.3% use it for 4 to 8 hours in a week. 4.5% said they use digital libraries for 8 to 12 hours, whereas 68% use it for more than 12 hours in a week. These inferences throw light on the information that every respondent who are aware about digital libraries make use of these facilities for their academicals and career prospects. And some others also use it for pleasure reading purpose. Also, we need to consider the fact that the pandemic had an influence in triggering people to use these digital facilities more than earlier. Next, effect on usage of e-library during pandemic period. The table and graph below depicts that the pandemic triggered youth in using digital libraries. 81.8% of them says that it in the pandemic influenced them in using e-library facilities, while 13.6% said it did not have any impact. And for 4%, the pandemic reduced their interest to e-library facilities. We know that due to pandemic, the authorities had to announce protocols and restrictions on people. So this gave due importance for digitalization, and every possible thing were made online. So this also reflected in the academic and the related field also. Next, purpose of accessing digital libraries. From the above graph, we can infer that the digital libraries are most used for educational or career-based purposes, that is 61.4%, and 25% responded it as they were using it for the research purposes. That might be because of the most of the youngsters are doing their courses and other academic works. Next, satisfaction level of young in using digital libraries. From the chart, we see that 70.5% of respondents responded it as they were satisfied with the facilities of digital libraries, as that is a means of convenience and eliminates the barriers in accessing a regular conventional library, whereas 4.5% responded that they were not satisfied with the facilities. And yes, it is true that digi libraries, even though feasible, cannot give us the pleasure that traditional libraries are giving. while 25% responded that they were neither satisfied nor dissatisfied with the digital libraries. Effective in enriching the knowledge. From the above inferences, we learned that for 29.5% and 52.3% strongly agreed that the digital libraries have their knowledge, while 18.2% had a neutral impact. The reason why the researchers stressed on this objective is because even though we have the opportunities in our hand, people tend to be lazier and they have a tendency to postpone everything that are nearest to them. Likewise, the researchers assumed that accessing digital libraries will also be such a task. From the above study, we had the following findings. There is no association between the nationality of the respondents and the awareness level, and most of the respondents know about digital libraries. Second, of the total respondents who are aware about the digital libraries, 60 of them choose digital libraries and 28 of them choose traditional libraries. 36.6% respondents have mentioned that digital libraries can be easily accessed, and 29.5% said it was a convenient source. And 15.9% of youngsters it saves paper and environment friendly, while 9.09 respondent that digital libraries give more choices investigate for them, and the rest 6.8% it was economical mode. Fourth, 31.8% of the respondents use e-journals at the most, and internet searching is the second most used. Fifth, all the respondents have used the digital libraries for at least once. The data shows 20.5% respondents use digital libraries daily, and 29.5 uses weekly, 11.4 uses monthly, and the most 38.6 uses it occasionally as and when they require. In addition, 61.4% use it for less than 4 hours a week. Sixth, the study says that the pandemic has triggered youth in using digital libraries. 81.8% of them says that the pandemic influenced them in using e-library facilities, while 13.6% said it did not have any impact. And for 4%, the pandemic reduced their interest to e-library facilities. Seventh, the digital libraries are most used for the educational or career-based purposes, that is 61.4% and 25% respectively. Whereas for 9.1%, it was for entertainment purposes like reading fictions and other literary works that they access these facilities, while 4.6 had made it a habit. 8. 70.5% respondents responded that they were satisfied with the facilities of digital libraries, whereas 25% responded neither satisfied nor dissatisfied, they had a confusion. And ninth point, 29.5% and 52.3% strongly agree and agreed that the digital libraries have their knowledge, whereas 18 to 18.2% had a neutral impact. And so far, we have concluded that digital library is an online platform that provides the needy with required information easily. It is said to be a revolution in education system that enables students, teachers, researchers easy and timely access to information as and when required. Awareness to digital library has now become a necessity. In this study, we conclude that the young respondents from both abroad and India prefer digital library more with compared to physical library. It is said to be more convenient and less time consuming as required information can be traced out easily without much difficulty. Also, any time availability of library makes digital library more popular. Even though some e-journals, e-books are in paid form, it is cheaper compared to the other. Most of the students agree to the statement that digital library contributes to their knowledge bank. Easy availability and convenience of digital library encourages youngsters to read and acquire more. It can be concluded that digital library is much more effective than physical library and is more preferred among youngsters. And thus we have some references here. And thus we have come to the end of the paper. Thank you.